think right now what we're seeing kind of is a revolt of the GMs and owners of players setting the market. Taking a look at this Geno Smith situation, where Geno Smith had a phenomenal year. Well, had a good year, comeback player of the year award. Um, he went out there, did everything Seattle asked him, and he's almost a guy that I think Seattle sees that they can win a Super Bowl with or compete for a Super Bowl with. But the GM mentioned and the coach and Pete Carroll mentioned they're still going to test the market. So the general manager John Schneider and Pete Carroll said that isn't stopping the team from taking a hard look at this year's quarterback class. Um, he described contracts. He described the contract talks with Smith, comeback player of the year, positive thus far. You know, we don't know what type of contract Geno Smith's looking at. He's in a sticky situation where he's not one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but he's not that upper echelon of quarterbacks. Um, you know, is it wise for Seattle to take a look at other quarterbacks? I think so, but I think that's an honest conversation you have to have with Geno. And if you have a guy you are working, doing a contract with, and you feel you have faith in, build around that guy. And I don't see anything wrong with drafting the quarterback in the later rounds, but anything above maybe a third or fourth round draft pick, you're not having confidence in that guy. You're basically saying at some point you're gonna mess up, and we want to have a backup plan. So it comes to the question of setting the market. What type of contract is asking for? Because I don't think a team goes out and looks at quarterbacks if Geno's asking for something more than what he deserves. Um, Once again, Schneider, the GM for the Seahawks, said the contract deals are looking very good. But Geno's looking very good. I would say it's always a process. Close, I would say positive. All these negotiations come to go a little bit faster than others. Usually, when you're talking about large numbers, they take a little bit more time. Obviously, much more complex than in different sports with guaranteed contracts. There's a lot more that goes into these contracts, which kind of sucks. Of course, NFL players should have guaranteed contracts. I personally believe you get more of a commitment out of a player. That's why you see a lot of athletes, not staying longer at team. Football players staying longer at teams. They tend to go different places. Consistently at year after year. So this idea of setting the market versus guaranteed contracts, and the GMs and owners kind of saying, "Hey, look, we're not going to pay this hefty price," and that's the challenge that I think Geno Smith and the Seahawks are having right now. No, Geno's not setting the market, but he wants something comparable to some of the top quarterbacks in the league. If you saw Kirk Cousins' deal, who didn't do anything, Kyler Murray's deal, who hasn't done anything. I had to say Deshaun Watson's deal, he hasn't done anything. Carson Wentz's deal, he didn't do anything. You look at some of these contracts, and Geno's like, "Hey, why not me?" So they may be looking at some other picks. So they have pick number 5 and 20th overall pick. And they own an extra second round pick from Denver and 10 selections in all. So they have a lot to play with. Why not build around Geno? If you think Geno's the guy, maybe trade some of those picks for some free agents if you think you're ready. If you think that, within a couple of years, Geno has no juice left and he's going to be done, then invest and then don't lead Geno on. Let him go somewhere else. So it's not necessarily setting the market, but you see the GMs and owners kind of pushing back on these contract negotiations, specifically since the players have figured out a loophole of setting the market.